Yes, right now, time to touch on the tech talk. Now, the city of Tokyo plans to make medals for the 2020 Olympic Games out of recycled gadgets. How good is that?
Man.
Yeah. And so far, they've received more than 5 million donated phones. And here to unpack how and why this is happening, of course, our resident tech expert, Brian Smith, on a Monday morning. Always glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
This is a positive story.
Yeah.
You normally come and terrify us with the latest in technology. So you said how and why. Let's start with the why. Why make this statement?
Awesome. So I think this is a really interesting question with a really interesting answer. If you consider every 4 years when the Olympic and Paralympic Games roll around, countries usually either have to rely on their own mineral wealth or contract out to mining firms to produce enough gold, silver, precious metals. Precisely for Olympic medals. Now, the problem here is twofold for Tokyo, in that Japan typically isn't a very mineral-rich country, as well as the fact it's estimated around 20% of the world's gold presently sits in electronic devices, both being used and unused. Now, so Tokyo has come up with a very interesting solution to this problem, and that's to encourage citizens to recycle their electronic devices to reproduce these precious metals into Olympic medals.
Yeah. So do you think this could possibly spark a wider trend, start new conversations around recycling and essentially how we then end up seeing and using our technology?
Definitely. I think one of the things we have to take really good cognizance of and be aware of in this century is that the rate at which we're using precious metals, specifically for our gadgets, is approaching a rate that's unsustainable.
Yeah.
So we really have to be, aware of the fact that we need to reduce, reuse, and recycle our consumption of these metals. And broadly, hopefully, what we can encourage is a culture of reusing. So that'll be transforming, let's say, a smartphone or a laptop into another electronic device that we could use in our home with perhaps a different purpose.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, we were chatting about that a while ago. The building processors out of old phones, a Bitcoin mining kind of thing. This begs the question: why have we not been doing this? That's a lot of precious metal that we've been finding. So what is the proper way to go about moving on to our next smartphone? What should we be doing with our old devices? How do you recycle?
Definitely. So what we really want to do is either reuse or resell. So the first step is either if there's someone you can hand your old device to, or perhaps another use you can give it, that's your first logical destination. Often major carriers and device manufacturers around the world will offer you an incentive to recycle your old device to make a new one. So for example, in some cases you might be able to turn in your old cell phone and buy a new one at a discounted price. You can spend slightly less money on your next gadget. However, there are online communities, Homebrew for example, where you can go online and download software kits to transform your old device, such as a smartphone, into an altogether different kind of product.
You are now an alarm clock.
Whoa,
Precisely,
okay.
from alarm clocks to doorbells to smart cameras, anything in between.
That's cool, man.
That is super cool. So well done to the city of Tokyo and welcome to Tokyo when we get there. And Brian, thanks again for bringing us news out of the world of technology. Let us know what exciting stories have been catching your attention, and please share them with us. Of course, when you do so, #Expresso Show. And of course, also check out our website, expressoshow.com, for all the latest news.